Alec Peters and David Scar will be joining us shortly. We'll start with an opening statement from Coach Drew.
I'm really in awe of what God's done with this team this year. We have faced so much adversity starting back to August when our returning point guard got an ACL injury, to get into conference season losing our second point guard, and then in the biggest game of the year losing our starting two guard. And our program, our school is based on faith, and from there come the core values of what our program stands for. And I thought our players in that second half really embraced what our school, what our core values of our team stand for. The heart of these guys, the determination, the togetherness, the work ethic of them is something that as a coach you always want to try to get out of your guys every day, and they make it easy for me because they just do it. And they're a special group, and I feel very blessed to be able to coach them.
Questions for our student athletes?
Alec, your thoughts. Congratulations, first of all, your thoughts.
Thank you. It's like Coach said, it's been quite the ride this season, losing Lexus to start it off the year, and not knowing what we had with our team at the start, and just to where we at right now. Being conference champions, tournament champions, going to the NCAA tournament. It's just, I'm so happy for my team. It's just something that we've really worked for, something that we've wanted so bad, and it just showed in the second half. We just had to bear down and play some defense, get some stops, because we wanted this more than anything.
David, talk about kind of the next man up theme with this team, just somebody stepping up and filling the void.
That's a great thing in our team, that every game someone else step up. Today that was me, and we did a great job. And you work all year for this game. You forgot on all the injuries, you forgot the tiredness in the court. You just give 100%.
Now, what was the key defensively? It was 12 minutes, 1 for 14, they went from the field.
We had to stop giving them, easy looks under the basket. They had quite a few points in the paint, and they were running some actions at us that we, had to tighten up defensively on. And, Kiefer did, a great job trying to make plays and everything. And, he's the focal point of their offense. We had to stop him because he was, getting in the lane, splitting ball screens, finding open teammates. He was causing some problems. So we just had to tighten up some areas, and, hopefully that defense would turn us into some momentum on offense.
David, talk about your threes in the first half, how big they were at a point in time when it was a little shaky offensively and the team needed a boost.
They were guarding Alex, so somebody has to be open. That was me. I had confidence. Just really.
Anything else for our student athletes?
What goes through your mind when Savon goes out, and then Darian takes the bloody nose, and what's sort of going through your mind at that point?
We may have a few, teammates get banged up, but we have to still fight, and that was the whole key to this game, is that we didn't just stop fighting. We were so, focused on what they do, and kind of got sidetracked, I think, during the game when they were scoring quick. They came right out of the gate hot, and so we had to keep fighting. We had to fight our way back. His threes in the first half were huge. They kept us in the game, and it was unbelievable. It's an unbelievable feeling.
Alec, your feelings on being the tournament?
Yeah, I'm incredibly blessed, to have great coaches, great teammates, great support staff that have helped put me in good situations, and I think I'm completely undeserving. I couldn't throw a rock in the ocean the entire game, but I give all the credit to God, my teammates, my coaches. They do it all for me, and we're going to the tournament, and we're completely happy with where we're at right now.
Alec, 3 for 13. Obviously, that's not what you're used to. Were you feeling good going up with the shots, or?
Anytime a ball leaves my hand, I feel it looks good every time. That's the confidence I have. It looks good to me, and they weren't falling. I wasn't going to stop shooting. That's the kind of what I bring to the table is I can help score the ball, and so coach didn't stop calling plays for me, so I couldn't stop losing my confidence, and so this feeling right now takes care of a poor shooting night. You kind of let it go really quick, knowing that you're one and you're playing more basketball.
When you guys are down 6 at halftime, you're feeling pretty good at that point, just the way the first half is gone, you're still in that position?
Well, the last media timeout, we wanted to gain some momentum back. I think we went down 10 at one point, and we needed to grab some kind of momentum before we went into the half, just chip that lead a little bit. And, you know, Vashil's dunk at the end of the half really gave us kind of the pickup and the boost we needed, you know. And then outside of halftime, they came out hot, and we needed that middle stretch where we could make a run. And, you know, that ended up being the difference in the game.
Yeah, the pace was outrageous. It was really quick. You're a freshman, performed really well. How do you think the pace was?
Can you repeat this?
How do you think the pace of the game?
The speed was a very fast game.
Oh yeah, like very fast game, physical. Like most of our games this season. But I said, once you're outside and you know what you're playing for the championship and to go to NCAA, you forgot that. You just give one.
I think Green Bay had maybe one field goal basically in the last 12 minutes of the game. I mean, are you guys aware that they're just not scoring points at that point, or how good you guys are shutting them down?
You know, that last 10 minutes, we know we were putting together a good stretch. We got some few steals, got out in transition, got to the free throw line a little bit, and you know that's the kind of the mantra of our team is that we got to get stops on defense to create transition buckets and get momentum back, and that was the only way we could get back into this game. And you know, Victor did a great job getting deflections, him and Keith getting deflections, getting steals, and so it helps build momentum. It gets the crowd into it. An unbelievable crowd tonight, so it was just a combination of a lot of things on the defensive end.
Last question for the student athletes.
Alec, how much of a factor do you think it was having Keith Carter available tonight after not playing against those guys the other 2 times?
I think it was great. He's a huge part of our team. Great ball handler. You know, he's our starting point guard most of the year before he got hurt, and so bringing him back to the court against a team who hadn't played against him, so they didn't really have a feel for how he played during the year, and he played great. You know, he set us up well. That's what he always does. He's a great point guard.
Thanks, guys. We head back out to celebration.
Good job, David.
Questions for Coach Drew?
Bryce, the play of your complimentary guys, David and Nickerson.
You know, Jabril Adekoya I thought was really big down the stretch too. He was 6th man of the year, and that's something we really take pride with, you know, in our program, having depth and guys who could come off the bench that could be starting. David's had some great stretches, Scars had some great stretches this year, but this, you know, obviously was one of his best games of the year. He has a lot of experience playing with Croatian national team, so he's probably been in some hostile environments and used to some big crowds. But I thought his poise for a freshman was tremendous. Shooting the ball when we couldn't make any shots, and then second half, you know, his speed at 6'8" in the open floor and the plays he was making. You know, he stepped up sensationally, especially being for a freshman, showing great poise.
Coach, you talked about on Saturday having to reinvent yourself, so that was gone. You said you probably have to do it again. You put out Jabril and David there in the second half, no Darian, no Michelle for a long stretch. So what was the thought process of going to that lineup and staying with that lineup?
You know, I was concerned with Darian. I thought when he butted heads, I didn't think, you know, he was his normal self. He got a little quieter, and he was trying to push through, but, you know, he just wasn't, you know, his normal self. And Scar had gotten us a great stretch in that first half and had played great defense, and also offensively was able to get to the rim and make some threes and do some things for us. So, you know, it wasn't a lineup we anticipated coming in, but it was kind of a flow thing as we got going with it. You know, going back to Tavon, you know, he's been our starting 2-guard all year. So coming into today's game, the lineup that we started in the second half, coming into the tournament, he only played 11 seconds together the whole tournament, or the whole conference season. And so, you know, we had to tweak some of our playbook. And, you know, I thought we had to grind it and make it, you know, ugly on the defensive end on both ways. And if it had been high scoring, there's no way we could have won.
What did you see from Javon in the first 4 minutes?
You know, most players would never even tried to play, but he wanted so badly to try to play. And with this stage, you know, I wanted to give him an opportunity because without him, we aren't here. And he went in and he hadn't done anything in a couple of days, hadn't really gone full speed. We really thought adrenaline could kick in, but he just wasn't himself. And I thought, you know, even though his heart was in the right place, his actions weren't helping our team. So we went with guys who were healthy and could go 100%.
You
You guys held Sykes to 3 pretty inefficient games throughout the year. How do you think you've been able to defend him so effectively?
You know, we're blessed he missed shots. I think Victor was unbelievable tonight. You know, we try to not give him, you know, looks, and he still gets off 15 looks because he's that good of a player. But obviously, he's, you know, their best player, the best player in the league, and coming in, you know, like he's averaging 25 in the last 5 games. So we knew that he was going to be really aggressive, and we just wanted to make sure that he was going to take tough shots because we knew he was going to get them off. We just wanted to make them tough.
Were there shades of the state championship game in this, and that really for the last 5 minutes, and even longer, you guys just clamped down?
You know, we were talking about that game, and we had, you know, Eric Buggs, who didn't score the ball in his whole career here, scored 22 in the championship game. And so coming in with Tavon, you know, probably not playing, you know, we knew that someone was going to have to step up and have a game for us to help score some points. And, you know, now looking at the stat sheet, you know, it's David Scarra. He was the one who really stepped up like Eric did 2 years ago.
You mentioned that last team, last championship team. What are similar traits that this team shares to that one?
You know, one of the biggest is togetherness. You know, they really enjoy each other. They're hanging out all the time together. We try to maybe not hang out so much. Think they're going to not like each other, but you know, they do all kinds of things together outside practice. And so I think when they're out there on the court together, you know, when you're friends, you play a little harder for each other. And I think both those teams have that.
What does it say about this team that Alec can have, as he said, he could throw a rock into the ocean tonight? He can have that kind of game, and you guys figure out a way to win without him really.
You know, it goes back, you know, our depth. You know, we have a lot of guys that can score the ball in different stretches. You know, Victor, our two players in double figures. If we'd have told you those two before the game, nobody probably would have believed it. Because Darian's been scoring, Alec, Tavon, Keith. But again, it just shows the depth of our team, and I think the unselfishness for guys who do score a lot, recognizing that other guys can score and help get them in good situations.
Keith was firing from all over the court tonight. Really just green light every moment.
You know, I thought he did a great job. He had 6 assists, you know, 7 rebounds. I thought his floor game was tremendous. You know, their guards put such great defensive pressure on. They have very good shot blockers. We thought he'd have a hard time finishing. So, you know, we really want him to run the offense. And then when he was open, take shots. I thought he was tremendous, you know, playing 33 minutes and playing an all-around game for us.
How did you feel when he went up for the three-pointer that gave you the lead for good?
Well, it was deep. It was deep. You know, he didn't shoot the ball great on Saturday. And before the injury, he was, you know, he and Alec were our 2 best shooters. And, you know, it was a deep one. But, you know, we have great confidence in him. He shoots the ball, you know, very well in practice every day.
I know this is a ways out, but it's Devon somewhere, you know, do you think he's still going to be able to contribute in the tournament?
You know, the rehab has gone sensational in the last 48 hours, and so he's set to get more rehab in the morning. And, you know, hopefully by next week, you know, he'll be able to play and help us. If, you know, if something would happen tonight, then I'd say there's no way. But since he was able to not re-injure it tonight, hopefully he'd be okay in a week.
And was it a nose for Darian?
It was nose, yeah, it's pretty substantial.
Did he lose any heat or anything like that?
I don't think so. I'll find out after the game. I don't think so.
How big of an advantage do you think being able to host the game by winning regular season plays?
I thought it was a huge advantage tonight. The crowd was, you know, incredible. The noise that they made. Sometimes they got our guys too excited on the fast breaks, and we threw it to them in the stands because we were so excited. But I think on the defensive end too, they gave us a lot of energy when we were getting tired. And you know, I'd like to think that hopefully that the crowd helped, you know, maybe with some of their shooting and everything, just because it was so loud in there. But nothing like playing at home, you know, especially to play at home for your home fans.
Bryce, have you thought at all about what kind of a seed you think this team deserves?
No, you know, our whole focus was Cleveland State and then Green Bay. You know, we knew we had to win this game to get into the tournament. So, you know, our whole focus was on preparing for those guys.
What would you like?
Oh, yeah, you'd love to be a high seed, but realistically, you know, I don't know. I'll have to look and see at it. Again, we're just happy we're in, and you know, we'll take all that as it comes.
Can you Cleveland State and Green Bay were number 1, number 2 pick preseason, arguably 2 of the best teams in the conference. You'd like to know that you won this against the teams that were the best in the conference.
You know, that during the course of your playing coaching career, I think that goes both ways. You'll pick high and you finish lower than what you're picked. So sometimes it's just a matter of a couple baskets here and there. So I don't really put much, stock into that. There's a lot of good teams in our league, and again, a couple shots here and there, and the whole top 4 seeds could have been completely different this year.
As someone who enjoyed success in the NCAA tournament as a player, what do you think the biggest change is from league play to the NCAA tournament?
We'll come up with a plan. We have a very inexperienced team, even though they played well beyond their years tonight. But obviously there's a lot of distractions that come with the tournament, and so we'll talk about stuff openly, and hopefully we can get rid of distractions and concentrate on basketball.
Anything else for Coach?
Thank you all.